This is an intro video on how to draw eyes, nose, mouth, and hair. So in this first little segment, I am just drawing the basic proportions of the face, starting with the circle and then the face, the eye space, the nose, then the mouth, and then I'm measuring to make sure that I have 3.5 eyes. There should be an eye that fits in the middle, and then 2 eyes, and then a half eye on each side. To start off, to draw an eye, you start with a circle, and then you draw the arch of whatever your eye looks like over it. Make sure that you're looking at your picture while you're doing this. Usually, the bottom is more flat. Then I am drawing the pupil. The pupil is going to be smaller in your eye. Then I drew a highlight and then shaded in my pupil, making it the darkest part of the eye. I am now going in on the edges to draw my entire eye in my eye socket. Now I'm drawing a line over the top for my eyelid, and that line should go over the full circle that you drew. Now I'm just re-emphasizing some of my lines and shading in my iris. Now make sure over here, that is where your tear duct is. You want to make sure that you draw that it's like a little circle and a little bump. I also drew a line underneath my eye to redefine the full round shape of the eye. Then I'm drawing in some individual hairs for the eyebrow. And as you can see, I'm going with the shape of the face. Next is the nose. Now on here you can see me start drawing the basic shape of the nose, and then this is it bigger. I start with one big circle, 2 smaller circles on either side. Then I put little rainbow shapes underneath the in-between circles. Then I am outlining the big circle and then the 2 smaller circles. I then erase my guidelines, and then I'm throwing in some shading. I shade up around the nose, and I make the nostrils a little darker, maybe a little bit bigger. And the shading can come in last, but I am shading the bottom too, because your nose will cast a shadow. Next is the lips. I start with 2 smaller circles on the top, and then a bigger circle on the bottom. As you can see, I'm throwing down my guidelines from the center of my eyes to make sure that my lips are the right proportion. In this case, they weren't, so I made them bigger. At the top there, I am drawing where my hairline starts and where it will end. As you can see for the hair, I'm drawing in large shapes, basic shapes, before I go in with my individual lines. This will help you guide the hair in the direction that it should be going. Then I'm just putting in some eyebrows and an ear. I end up changing the position of the ear based on my right proportions. And I then show you a detailed version of how I would draw the ear. Just a little bit of shading and a couple of rounded marks. The ear doesn't necessarily need to have a lot of detail in it because you aren't able to see it so much when it is the side view. And as you can see there, that is the inner eye. That is that first eye that I drew. Now I'm showing you over here a more detailed version of the lips. As you can see, I start with the 2 circles on the top. I make like a bird-like shape on the bottom, and then a bigger rounded circle, and then deciding where I want to put the sides of the mouth depending on the expression, and then shading it in. I am again going in and detailing in my eyes, making sure that they're even, making sure that they are the right size. A lot of times you have the intention to make your eyes look right, but sometimes they're a lot bigger than they should be. Going in with some more shading just to see if I'm getting the proportions right, making sure that my eyes are the right distance apart, seeing if my neck looks right, and then going in with a couple more shadings before I start the hair, just to kind of get the face shape in the way that I want it. Obviously, you will want to erase your guidelines before shading completely, but I just did this for the tutorial to save some time. I am now moving on to the hair. As you can see, I started with some lines that were going in the direction of the shape. But if your hair starts coming off from the top of your head, it's not going to be flat. In fact, it's going to be rounded and coming up off your head. So you want to make those very marks to replicate that look. And then, as you can see on the other side, I'm doing a similar thing. And then I'm combining that little part, making it the darkest point. And then I can fill in the back of the hair if it needs some.